According to me, people who join organizations, they do so for two reasons. One is they feel that they can learn. The other one is that they can grow. Um, but more importantly, many people who join organizations look to see if they can bring their complete of themselves into an organization. Am I being valued for what I am? And then you start to move. First, you seek a job, and then you say, I hope I get a job in the right company. And the right company in my early days was, I hope it pays me well. I hope it has a good work culture and all that. And then you start to look at some of the policies that the organization has. And then you ask yourself, hey, is this consistent with what I wish to do? And let me give you an example. Several years ago, I got a job with a certain company which is famous for its genetic seeds. And this is a US based organization. And as part of the process, I was taken to the US. We had rounds of interviews, and it was a fairly important, big job here in India, and a lot of things associated with it. And finally, when I sat back at home, thinking through the whole thing, I asked myself, what do I really want to do? And when I asked myself what I really want to do, I wanted to work in a company which does good for the environment. And I found that my purpose was at variance with this particular organization. And I felt really silly. I should have thought about this even before I had even been tapped on the shoulder. But it wasn't too late. I managed to convince everybody, but it stayed with me. So one is, what is the organization? What is the purpose? And what are the fallouts of some of the purpose that the organization drives? So that's one. Deep level, we work in organizations because there is a purpose that we have. And some of us will over a period of time, think about it. And Sujata, in passing, talked about being a coach. And it's important to look at those that side of me, which is so much within me that could be of value to others. Then my life, for example, my life purpose is to help people realize their potentiality. That's my life purpose. This is what I want to do, whether in organizations or anywhere outside. If I can help somebody realize who they really are, then I think that's a life well lived. That's a job well done. Now you ask me, where did you get all this? Now, it was not like I was designed this way. Many years ago, I was working in a factory. And in a factory environment, they don't tell you the reason why you have to do a few things. Like, for example, I was sent to be with a supervisor who was supposed to be a very good supervisor. And in those days, they never told you why you should do what you're going to be doing. So this supervisor was a person who was supervising the construction of roads at this particular site. And so I went and met Mr. Yadav. So I said, Yadav ji, aap kya kar rahe hain? And he said, aap mere saath aiye, this, that, etc. And we went to the site. And all he did was he got 6 of his men to dig roads. And to the side of the road, they started digging the roads. And after some time, I noticed that these guys were getting bored stiff. They just wouldn't do anything. And it was close. It was pretty hot in those days. And this was in Bihar. And the sun shone mercilessly down on us. And everybody was tired. But the supervisor, he noticed that all the workmen were just faffing. So he pulled everybody together and he said, do you know why we are doing what we are doing? So everybody stared at him and he said, well, we are trying to lay a pipeline which will take water all the way to the workers' colony where you guys live. And we want to make sure that there is non-stop supply of water in a place where you would have no more than 3 hours of water a day. That's all that he said. And almost like magic, post that, everybody was making sure that they were giving the best. The crowbars went deep into the ground, and of course, in those days you didn't have JCBs and all that. But to me, as a management trainee, it was like, my God, that's the light bulb. I still remember that story because it made so much of sense. So, if there is a purpose that people have, and in human resources, back to the question that you asked, it's important for us to communicate that. And for us to also realize why people work in organizations. For example, it is so easy to say, this person is no good. I quite like the idea of look at the extremes as much as you look at what is there within a finite curve. You look at the extremes as well. The extremes could also tell you that somebody is really lousy in something or somebody is really good at something. And if you can find value in letting people know that we admire them, we like them, and we would like to give more so that they discover their edge in what they are doing, I think communicating that purpose is important.